Hi, it's Lucy here. I've just come back from holidays and I've got a fun one for you today. I'll be creating a few different card designs using these three dies. First up is this dome-shaped one that reminds me of a snow globe. I'll be creating birthday and thank you cards with it today, but I'm also thinking ahead to Christmas with this one. It would make such a cute shaker card, don't you think? And next is this bottle die. I think it could be really fun for Halloween. I'm picturing green, orange, and purple sequins in the bottle with a cute witch or something and sequins bubbling out of the top. And then there's this sweet jar die which comes with a snowman set. I'll be snipping off the snowman parts and setting that aside for Christmas, but I can't wait to show you all the ideas I've got for the jar itself and the other two dies. Are you ready to get inspired? So first up, I'm tracing around the outside of the dies twice onto a piece of white card. My sheet is 300 GSM, but anything heavier than standard printer paper should work just fine. Tracing around the dies gives me a guide for where to place the stickers, and there's no need to erase the pencil lines since they'll end up outside the die cut area. And then next I'm softly inking around the edges with Distress Oxide ink, and this step is totally optional. I just thought it might give a bit more of a glass-like or dimensional look and just show you another idea. I've made some without the inking too, and I honestly love both versions. The colour I'm using is tumbled glass. It's a very pale blue, so the effect stays nice and subtle. I'll cut them all out so they're easier to add stickers to. And let's start with the domes. These floral stickers work beautifully. They've got long stems that fill out the shape so nicely with the flowers. It's such a quick and easy way to create something pretty within the dome. And just in case you haven't seen my previous videos using PET stickers or you haven't seen them before, they're stickers with a transparent backing, which makes them perfect for layering. There's no white borders, just a clean look, and I'll layer them up on this next dome using a couple of farm style stickers and adding a border sticker to build a little scene. I'll trim around the edge of the border sticker. It's totally optional, and depending on what you have, some of these already come pre-cut now. I've also made a couple of domes off camera and I'll show them shortly. I'll have all the links to everything I used in the description, including the dies with a 25% discount code and the stickers and a discount code there too. I'm die cutting the base or stand of the dome from an antique gold cardstock. It's not shiny, more of a muted gold, which I think works really well here. Now, if you caught one of my recent videos where I made 60 cards using up old pattern papers and big PET sticker scenes, you might remember I said I'd hang on to the sticker backings to recycle. Well, here's one way I'm reusing them. I'm die cutting a few to cover the dome, giving it more of a glass-like effect, and you could do this with any clear packaging too that you have. I added 4 layers here, but I found just 1 or 2 layers of plastic worked best, and I changed this one to 1 layer as my Sally's Aquadare glue didn't work perfectly. It works, but it was easy to pull the plastic layers away, so I'm not sure how it will go long term. If you've found something that works well for clear packaging, feel free to share in the comments for us all. We'd love to hear it. I also created a little fairy scene using washi stickers from this washi and PET sticker book. Once I've finished the domes, jars and bottles, I'll be turning them all into cards. I'll be making 5 dome cards in total, and for this one I'm gluing the stand to the base of the dome, but again I'm not totally confident the glue will hold long term. So later on, well, the next day, I went back and added some double-sided tape as well and some more glue just for added strength. And to get the stand lined up neatly, I find the easiest way is to flip the whole piece over and align it from the back. That way you can see exactly where it needs to sit. Now onto the bottles, and for the first one I'm turning it into a vase. I've got a pack of butterfly and blue geometric stickers that I think will work perfectly for a sort of mosaic style vase. At first I was a bit slow getting these off the backing because I assumed they were all pre-cut. It turns out some of the pieces aren't, and if I hadn't have been filming I probably would have noticed sooner as I would have had it closer to my eyes, but once I figured it out it was easy enough to just cut around the ones that needed it. The smaller the PET sticker pieces are, the trickier they can be to peel off the backing. So I wanted to show this sticky mat again, just in case you haven't seen it before. It's such a handy little tool and it only costs around $1.50 or so. I actually popped my sticker on face down by mistake, but it still worked. It just meant the backing came off first and the sticker stayed on the mat. Normally I place them sticker side up, but either way does the job, I've just found out. Moving on to my next bottle, and I'm going to create a sweet little scene in it. I have the full set of these swing stickers. There's 6 packs in total. Some have little girls on them and some have lovely adult style swinging chairs in each pack. And I'm going to layer up one of each on top of each other, and also cut the flowers off the top part of one of the swings and create a pretty floral ground with it instead. And you probably thought I was a little strange saying I'll layer up a girl on a swing with a swinging chair, but it works, doesn't it? She's now surrounded by flowers and it's such a pretty little scene. And I'm not letting this little blue flower go to waste. I'll cut it out and use it on the card a bit later on. And after die cutting the bottle and cork top, I used craft paper for that part. I'm wrapping some twine around the top just to give it a bit of texture and interest. I will not make you sit through my fumbly attempt at tying a bow. That's definitely not my strong suit. I'm sure you'd do a better job than me. I'll also cut another bottle from one of the clear recycled backing sheets and glue that over the top to give a glassy finish. And because the twine adds a bit of bulk at the back of the lid, I'm using a couple of foam hexagons and glue to help adhere it securely. I've got another super simple bottle design coming up later on too. And here's where I'll add the little blue flower to the outside of the bottle. And then I'll place an acrylic block on top so the glue can stick the plastic nice and flat. And then I'll head back to the mosaic style vase. I found some beautiful floral stickers that are perfect for it. I didn't mosaic the top part of the bottle since I knew it wouldn't be visible in the final design. And I'm adding one of the flowers to a piece of white cardstock and fussy cutting around it. That way it'll be completely opaque and really stand out. And the rest of the flowers behind it will stay as they are. You'll see the finished card shortly, but I thought it made sense to show all the different ways to use these dies first. The card backgrounds I've created are very simple, but I think they really let the die cuts shine. I'm going to trim all the leaves off these flowers so I can place them where they'll actually be visible instead of hiding underneath the vase. No fancy cutting needed, only the tips of the leaves will show in the final design. And once I've roughly planned out where the flowers and leaves will go, I'll pop that piece to the side and move on to some jar designs. And for one of the jars, I'm using more of the farm scene stickers. They layer so beautifully, don't they? The only little issue I ran into is that one of the girls' faces ends up layered right over the background where it's quite dark, and so her face isn't as clear as I'd like. I actually don't create a card using this particular jar. I create a similar design shortly using more of the farm stickers instead, and I will show you how I fix that little issue with faces blending into busy backgrounds though. And then here's another quick layering design, this time with a bird cage, some flowers and a butterfly. It's so simple to put together, but I just love how delicate and pretty it looks. And then again, you can absolutely just use one large sticker to create a scene. It's such an easy way to fill the jar beautifully. I will be adding a little extra detail to this one shortly though, so stick around for another simple but really effective tip coming up. I also wanted to share this quick and easy jar design coming up now. I absolutely love using these ground border PET tapes. Honestly, I could make scenes like this all day. I trim off any of the excess clear edge that doesn't have an image on it, just because I'm not a fan of seeing that straight glossy line in the scene. If you're adding a clear cover over the top, it probably won't show, but I still prefer to trim it unless the tape is already pre-cut. And to finish it off, I'll just add a few pretty butterflies. I do a similar design in one of the bottles too. I'll show that shortly. This idea works beautifully across all the dies I'm using today, or with any similar ones you might already have in your stash. And if I haven't mentioned it already, these dies are from Life's Craft Art, and if you click on any of the links that I have in the description box, it will automatically give you a 25% off discount just for coming through my YouTube channel. So that's a really big savings. And here's another jar using the farm stickers, and once I've added the girl, I can see exactly where I need to trim the layer underneath her face. I'll carefully use my craft knife to cut that area away. And if a bit of the white card comes off with it, that's totally fine. It'll be hidden underneath, and the main thing is to get a nice clear background behind her face so she stands out better. I've die cut the top of the jar to create a lid, and I really love how the antique gold card looks, so I'll mostly be using that for the lids today. The die doesn't separate the lid from the jar, so I just trim away the excess where the lid would naturally end. You could also cut along the next line up if you prefer a shorter lid look. I do think I added the seam a bit too high on this particular jar. I could go back and fill in the bottom, but seeing as I've made quite a few already, I might just set this one aside. It's not my favorite, and that's okay. So to attach the lids, I'm using glue. I've also die cut a couple from a light gold glitter card. It looks really pretty with the birdcage scene. And just to quickly show again how easy it is to create with the border PET tapes and some butterflies, I made another one using a different tape and some vibrant butterflies. And all the stickers and tapes I've used are from Journal Say, and I'll have the links down below for you. I also have an 8% discount code that still works even during sales. And Journal Say offers free international shipping on orders over $29, and so does Life's Craft Art for the dies. That's such a win, especially with how costly postage can be these days, so I thought I might mention that. Oh, and just quickly, someone mentioned recently that their order didn't come as beautifully wrapped as the ones I've shown for Journal Say. Well, Journal Say have just let me know that if you type gift wrapping in the comments box when you place your order, they'll gift wrap it for you. If you do try it, I'd really love to hear how yours arrives, then I can share more details next time for everyone else too. And back to this, for this bottle lid, like before, I've die cut it from craft cardstock, but this time I'm adding a bit more dimension by lightly inking the edges with brown Distress Oxide ink. Then I'll wrap some twine around it just like I did earlier. I also added a couple of small pieces of scrap card behind the lid to even it out with the bulk of the twine. Just another little option you might find helpful instead of foam tape. And how lovely does this one look? I honestly wish I had a garden like this. It's so pretty. So now that I've got all these pieces ready to go, it's time to create some backgrounds for them. Since they're bottles, jars and domes, first I want to give them a little extra height and presence on the cards. I'll do that by die cutting the same shapes from some old thick pattern papers I no longer want to use on their own. And this is such a great way to repurpose papers you've fallen out of love with. Just layer them behind your main pieces for that added lift. You can add as many layers underneath as you like. Some of mine just have one, while others have two for a bit more dimension. And next I've die cut a bunch of sentiments along with their shadow layers, and these are all from an American website called Scrap Diva Designs. I really love using the shadow dies behind the sentiments. It just makes the words stand out so much more. And each sentiment set includes the word itself and a matching shadow die, and all you need to do is glue them together. It's super simple but really effective, and you can just use the sentiments on their own if you like. Now onto the backgrounds, and for some of these I want to give the look of the bottles or jars sitting on a little table. I've got this pattern paper that's perfect. It has a wooden design on one side and a lovely floral on the other. I'll die cut it into a rectangle to match the size of my card front, but if you don't have a die for that, you can just cut it to size with a trimmer or scissors. You definitely don't need this exact paper either. Anything with a wood grain or table-like design works beautifully. And once I've got that card-sized piece, I'll slice off a section about the width of my ruler to create the tabletop and the wall behind it. I'm not measuring anything precisely, just eyeballing it. And then I'll use a bit of ink to add some soft shadows where the two surfaces meet to help give that tabletop look, and around the outside of the edges too. Next, I'll add some double-sided tape to the card front. I like to peel off just the right-hand side of the tape backing first, so that I can line up the left edges nice and straight before pressing everything down, especially when you're doing two pieces instead of one full piece. And once that's in place, I go ahead and remove the rest of the tape backings to fully adhere the panel. Then I'll stick down the dome using double-sided tape again, along with a little glue for extra hold. Next, I can add the sentiment, and I also pop a little piece of scrap card behind the exclamation mark just to give it a bit of extra support. I actually use 2 layers of white card, and I'll do the same thing with the T as well, just adding a couple of extra pieces to keep it level with the rest of the sentiment. To finish off this card, I'm adding some Nuvo drops in pink and white. The placement of the pink ones might look a little odd at first, and that's because I'm leaving a few spaces for the white drops to go in, just to mix it up a bit. I do like creating little clusters of 3 drops in different sizes. I think that always looks the nicest. I'll make a few more little wooden table backgrounds, I think you know what I mean, and I'll mix things up a bit by using different pattern papers. This background is from the same Uniquely Creative kit that's out this month. And for this jar, I've added a clear plastic layer over the top, and it's such a helpful tip if you're using PET sticker faces over a busy background. This is another option. Because the sticker sits on top of the plastic, her face stays nice and clear and doesn't get lost in the background. And thank you again to Judy for the foam adhesive sheet I'm using here. It's been so handy. And once I've popped on a sentiment, this one's all done. And doesn't it look like a sweet little fairy house that she's sitting in front of? And here's a close-up so you can really see how clearly her face shows when using that clear plastic layer. Such a simple trick, but so effective. And now I'm going to make the birdcage card, and once I've glued the jar down, I still have a bit of time before the glue fully sets, so I'll sneak in a rose sticker in the corner. It fits perfectly there. I've created the background the same way as before, so all that's left is to add the sentiment, and this card is done. I've actually got a friend's 60th birthday coming up this weekend, so I think I'll add a little circle with 60 on it to the left side of the jar lid, just near the rose. I think that'll make a lovely personal touch. And just before I switch things up completely with a new background style, here's one more idea for this type of tabletop background. I traced the inside of the dome directly onto the card base and then inked around it to create a soft shadow. I don't need to erase the pencil marks since they'll be hidden under the dome. And you could also use a grey ink just to ground your die cut piece. Either way, it adds a subtle bit of dimension. And now for a complete change of scenery, I'm using this beautiful watercolor style PET background tape. You might remember seeing it when I shared how I organize my PET and washi tapes in a recent video. I've been so excited to try it, and it works perfectly with these bottle and jar designs, so I can't wait to show you. The best way I've found to use these background tapes is to stick them onto white card first, then just trim around the shape or die cut it, whichever you prefer. I'll attach mine to the card front using double-sided tape, then add some foam hexagons to the bottle for dimension. I'll pop on a glittery sentiment and a few white Nuvo drops, and then that's another card all done. I made 2 sentiment options for this card because I couldn't decide which would work best. In the end, I used one of each, and I'll save the extras for my next yellow themed card. A few of the cards were created off camera since they were made the same way as the others, however they still look different. So now let's take a look at all 12 finished cards. I'd love to know which ones are your favourite. Do you prefer the bottle, jar or dome designs? Or maybe you love all 3? I had so much fun putting these together, but then again I always enjoy card making, especially when I get to play with new goodies all the time. If you're interested in any of the products I used today, you'll find all the links and discount codes in the video description below. And just a quick personal update in case you were wondering, we had such a lovely time on our cruise to the Great Barrier Reef. It was beautifully warm every day, and I might pop in a little photo or video clip at the end here to share a bit of the sunshine with you if you're in one of the colder states like I am. These two are using florals from the same sticker set, yet the cards turned out very different due to the backgrounds, didn't they? And then I didn't use the sentiment shadow on this fairy card, so I could easily manipulate the sentiment to have a slight curve in line with the dome stand. I've also used one of those watercolor backgrounds on that one as well. And thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed seeing how these cards came together. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you join me here, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you liked this one, a thumbs up really helps more people find it too. Feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear which card was your favourite, or if you've tried something similar with bottles, domes or jars. And thanks again for spending some crafty time with me today. And just a quick reminder, if you're ordering from Journal Say and love pretty packaging like I do, make sure to write gift wrapping in the order comments so they know to wrap it beautifully for you too. And this is one of the jars with the plastic layer over it. Do you prefer this look or without? I'd love to know. And then here's another card I made off screen using the watercolor background tape. There are so many beautiful color variations in the tape, so it was easy to match up embellishments with it. It had gotten a little darker by the time I filmed this last part, so I hope the lighting still looks okay on your screen. And then now I just wanted to share a couple of short clips from Queensland, Australia. It's such a beautiful part of our country here, and it's nearly always warm. The first video is from Airlie Beach, and the sun was shining all day. And the second is the lagoon in Cairns. Definitely the best place for a swim, since the beaches can have jellyfish and even crocodiles. And if you've stayed with me right through to the end without fast forwarding this video, thank you so much. That really means a lot. I hope you have a lovely weekend and happy crafting. I'll be back with another video next week. But if you need more ideas and inspiration, please click on this thumbnail on screen for another video. Stay well and bye for now.